The views and opinions of this broadcast do not reflect the views and opinions of Armed Media, New Productions, and its affiliates. Enjoy the show.
What's up, everyone? Thank you all for tuning into Talk Live Paranormal, broadcasted on Armed Radio. We are being broadcasted out of Boston, Massachusetts. I am Shannon, your host.
And I am Bill, your co-host.
And I'm Don Whisman, better known as Bigfoot. I guess I'm going to be Bigfoot on this show tonight. I know nothing about ghost hunting, but I'm here to support my friend Shannon and Mr. Bill.
What's up, Donald?
What up, D?
Well, I just woke up. That's the thing. My wife had my alarm set, and I woke up listening to a rooster crowing about 20 minutes ago, and I'm here talking to you fine guys, women and men here.
Well, at least your wife didn't wake you up by beating you with a baseball bat or something. Get up.
Well, we sleep in different rooms. We sleep in different rooms, but she set my alarm because I don't know how.
Thank you, Linda.
Thanks, Linda.
Thanks, Linda. All right. What kind of scary stuff you got for us tonight, Shannon?
Well, before we jump into that, I got a question. And maybe you guys can help me answer this. What is up with these damn kids snorting condoms?
I don't even know how you would snort a condom. I just heard about that today. Is it the powder they're snorting off the condom? I don't know.
They're unrolling the condom and snorting it up their nose and trying to pull it out their mouth. I don't
get the kids nowadays, Bill. I really don't understand the kids nowadays.
I want to get the kids together that are snorting the condoms and have them hold
Tide Pods.
Hold hands with the kids that are eating Tide Pods and tell them jump off that damn cliff because you're a waste of damn oxygen. You're wasting it for me.
My mom used to get on me for chewing on like rubber bands. You guys remember being a kid chewing on a rubber band? I mean, that's the biggest thing we ever did.
No, I've never chewed on a rubber band, Donald.
Well, I did.
I just don't understand. What is this? What we're going to now? Oh.
Well, maybe when these kids die, you guys are ghost hunting. Maybe you can find one of these kids that's died from slipping Tide Pods or whatever, snorting Tide Pods, and ask them what was going through their mind.
Maybe these are the kids of the people that are having sex with ghosts, because I don't understand that one either.
Oh my God! Did you hear about that woman? That woman
she refuses to have sex with men ever again because she has more fun with ghosts.
And she wants to have a baby.
Oh my God! Okay,
by a spirit.
Is the cleanup afterwards? Is it easier? That's what I want to know. I mean,
it's easier for the spirit.
I guess you would name it Casper. Name the baby Casper. I don't know.
The sad part, she was on a talk show for this. That's the sad part.
Oh, Lord.
I don't know what to say.
I don't believe I would have went public with that.
You know, Bill, no, I don't put anything past anybody anymore. There's so much crazy stuff going on nowadays. I'm not amazed by anything anymore.
How can you be? There's so much stuff out there that is so stupid. And when you look at, I was just reading some stuff on there that a guy took cocaine to his court hearing to prove to the judge that he was supposed to be arraigned for being caught with heroin. So he brings cocaine in to prove that it wasn't heroin, it was cocaine.
Bam, another charge.
He brought it to court with him.
Well, Bill,
how'd we get on this topic?
Well, I know this is a ghost show, but Bill, when I was a kid, I mean, the biggest thing for us was like when they launched that first space shuttle up. I mean, we, as kids in days or teenagers, whatever I was, I mean, that was a big thing. But if they shot a space shuttle up in the sky now, I don't even think kids would even care. They wouldn't even watch it, man.
Ooh, Shannon, we could hunt ghosts on the moon.
Oh, totally. I'm down.
Ain't there a movie like that, Ghost on the Moon or something? I don't know.
Yeah, it's starring Bill and Shannon.
Hey, so if anybody out there is listening, we were the ones that thought of this, so dang it, we better get some copyrights out of this. That's all I'm saying.
And NASA, we need a rocket.
Yeah. What would you call yourself? Ghostonauts? Ghostmonauts or what?
Ghostmonauts.
Ghostmonauts. It's like Octonauts, but Yeah, we need to think of something. We need to think of a name for that one.
I got it. Ghostmanauts.
Ghostmanauts.
Hold on, folks. I'm going to open my mask and see if I can hear anything.
Polternauts.
Yeah. You'll have to figure out a way to hook up a recorder inside your helmet on the moon.
I'd fart. That'd be really loud.
Well, you gotta go to the dark side of the moon to hunt ghosts, though. You have to go to the dark side.
Why? You can investigate during the day.
Well, I mean, the dark side of the moon, I think, where the ghosts would be, ain't they? Normally, people
They come out during the day.
They're not just at night.
I don't know. Has astronauts ever even been to the dark side of the moon? I mean, I know they've landed on the lit side of the moon, but I don't even know if we've ever been to the dark side of the moon.
We don't go to the dark side because that's where Darth Vader's at, so we try to avoid that.
Well, what you got on your agenda tonight, Bill and Shannon? What do you guys got on here tonight?
Anything and everything.
You name it.
We're just winging it tonight, buddy.
What about? Let's talk about Poasttown Elementary. How haunted it is. Because that's the only place, Bill, that I've actually ever done a ghost hunt was at Poasttown Elementary, and it was great. I loved it. I've done it a couple times now with Shannon. I want to go to Waverly in Kentucky, but Shannon's telling me it's not really as good as what I think it is.
I just want to go there for the experience. It's you see so much about it, and then it I don't know. It's just something about that place that intrigues the hell out of me. I have several places on my bucket list that I want to go. I know that I know the Sally House is coming up and it's scaring the hell out of me.
You're doing it.
Bill, have you ever been to Bobby Mackey's? Have you been there yet?
No, I haven't been down there yet.
Now, I've been to Bobby Mackey's numerous times, and I mean, if you watch the shows like Ghost Adventures and where, I mean, everywhere Zach goes is demonic. Beth and I and Ann, we've investigated Bobby Mackey's quite a bit, and I can tell you right now, I mean, most of the time that we're there, we get a couple good EVPs, but other than that, it's crickets in the background.
I guess we should tell everybody where Bobby Mackey's is located. I think it's Wilder, Kentucky. It's just, 50, 60 miles from where we're at, Shannon?
Yeah, it's just under an hour.
Oh, okay, cool.
It's just over the river.
Zach Bagan on Ghost Adventures, that's like one of his most worst places he's ever went to for ghosts and demons or whatever, and things followed him home, and it's supposed to ruin Aaron's. I think Aaron's his name. His marriage. Something.
Aaron Goodwin.
Home. Yes, yeah. And I don't know. I think he's hyping it up more than what Bobby Mackey's is. I think so.
They actually did a real exorcism there on a gentleman that used to live there, Carl.
Really?
Yeah, you can actually look it up on YouTube. There's 2 parts to it. And you can tell it was like recorded VHS, but you can watch both parts, the whole exorcism of Carl. And it was done at Bobby Mackey's.
Okay, Shannon, let me throw this one at you. What's your number one place on your bucket list that you want to go? If you could go anywhere in the world to go do it, to go hunt.
There's so many, though. And, I mean, I wouldn't mind going to Waverly. And just for the record, Donald, I never said it wasn't. It's probably not as good as you think it's going to be. I was saying that they are thinking about turning it into an actual hotel. Like within the next couple years, so you might not be able to go. Yeah, they're talking about they started reconstruction on it, as far as I've heard, but they were talking about turning it into an actual hotel.
See, I want to.
I'm sorry, Bill.
No, go ahead. No.
Well, I was going to ask both of you, Bill and Shannon. I want to know if either one of you have ever seen or captured a full. What do you call it? A full body apparition, either on film or have you ever seen one with your eyes?
Definitely with my eyes.
Yeah.
Or on film.
I wish we could have. I wish the last one I saw we could have caught on film. We were up at Edinburgh here in Iowa, and the only way I can describe what it looked like to anyone, if you've ever seen the old movie Phantasm.
I remember that. I love
that. The Undertaker. Now, okay, Donald. So I'm not a small guy. I'm 6'2". I'm kind of bulky in most areas. More around my weight.
That sounds like me, but I'm kind of a fat 6'2" guy.
Well, that's I'm trying to.
You're
be
not very big, Bill.
Yeah. Okay. But this guy, when I saw him in the doorway staring at me, was probably 8 to 10 inches taller than me, and the only way I can describe him, I've got goosebumps right now. Hold on.
Wait a minute, you did see a full body apparition.
Yeah,
you did see one.
He was staring right at me, and the only way I can describe it is that long white face with that long hair, and we had 20 or 30 guests down there with us, and it dropped me to my knees. It scared the living hell out of me because he wasn't 8 inches from my face.
And Bill doesn't scare very easy.
Wow.
I don't know. It just now I'm pacing back and forth in my dining room here.
Oh, Jesus. Well, Donald, you know that I have captured a full-faced apparition. You've seen the video for it.
I've seen that, but that was what I was wondering if you guys have, like Bill was talking about, seeing an actual full body apparition.
Oh, God.
Yes. I mean, they're dark masses. I mean, I haven't seen one where I could, describe exactly what they were wearing and everything.
Well, can I tell you, Shannon, and Bill a story? What happened to me when I was younger? I was still living at home. I think I was like 15, 16. This house that my mom had bought, back in the back bedroom is where I slept. And when I put my room back there when we first moved in the house, I don't know if it was dreams or what, but I would wake up. I thought I was awake, and there was this guy in a trench coat, and he wore this big hat. And the guy was always trying to choke me and stuff, okay? So this went on for years, you guys. My mom found me in the kitchen holding a chair up. I mean, I was fighting this thing. It was almost every night it tormented me. And so I moved out. I met Linda and got her pregnant and moved out. Then my brother moved in that same room, okay? And he started telling me stories about these dreams that he was having. This same guy was attacking him, and I never told my brother what this guy looked like, and he explained this guy to a T, so it made me thinking, well, was I dreaming, or was this thing really waking me up, you guys?
Wow.
I'm gonna go with they were probably really waking you up.
Yeah.
And my mother said when she came in the kitchen, my eyes were glowing red one night. I mean, this is like 3 or 4 o'clock in the morning. I had it was like a big bench. I mean, this thing really weighed over 100 pounds. I was slinging it around at this thing. It was like nothing. And I'll tell you guys, I thought I've seen stuff, but I just can't tell you 100% sure that what I seen was real or a dream.
Well, here's what I kind of look at it.
It's unexplainable.
Yeah, most of it's unexplainable. But Shannon and I have talked about this before. If you think about it, when we're all kids, our mind is wide open.
Where did Bill go?
Is Bill still here?
I hear him.
Can you hear me, Shannon?
I can hear you just fine, Bill.
Okay. When we're all kids,
you guys hear me?
Yeah,
yep,
we can hear you.
Yep.
Hey, Jimmy.
Hey, Donald, how you doing?
I'm having fun tonight. I don't know why. I think she got booted out. They do that sometimes, Bill. For some reason, like Dave, when he comes in, he can almost tell when he's getting ready to get booted out because there's sound will go out. But I've never been booted out. What about you, Jimmy? Have you ever been booted out of one of these rooms?
Yeah, but I usually do the booting out, but I'm not booting nobody out.
Well, I mean, I think it's the program somehow. It boots people. She's back in now.
You there, Shannon?
I can boot Donald out.
Well, if I make you guys mad, I'll put you in. But Shannon, did you get booted out just then?
I couldn't hear anybody. I could see your guys. I could see them lighting up blue, but I couldn't hear anybody, so I just backed out and came back in.
Well, that's what happens to Dave. He got booted out like a couple times the other night on our show.
It is sensitive. I got to admit. I'd like to find another one besides.
You know what? There may be ghosts in TeamSpeak, Jimmy, and they don't like certain people, and it boots us out of here.
Always a ghost in the machine, right?
Ghost in the machine, and this machine does not like Dave because it boots him out of here.
Neither do we.
Either.
I knew you guys were going to get me. I knew it was coming. Thank you guys.
Yes.
I love
So what
you
did I
guys,
miss?
man.
What were you guys talking about when I?
We were just talking about, like I was saying, that sometimes you think about it when we're kids, where we always sense things and talk about things as they're our what do you call it, our friends that no
like
one else
your
can see.
imaginary friend.
Yeah, your imaginary friend. And we see that, and our minds are open. And then as we grow up, we get older, and we start. Not only do our parents say, "Stop it! There's nobody there. You're not playing with anybody," but then you turn around and you start thinking about it later on in life, going, that really wasn't. That was an imaginary friend, I think. And then you start opening your mind more, and you start thinking, "Wait a minute, were they imaginary, or was it like Donald? Sitting in that this person
was it actually real?"
Yeah.
Well, another thing, Bill and Shannon, I know it's your show tonight, Shannon. I hate to come in here and just keep I'm asking you guys questions. I guess that's what
You're
you
fine,
wanted
Donald.
to hear.
You're fine, Donald. Go ahead.
But Bill and Shannon, and if Jimmy and Paul's listening, to me, I know what you're talking about when you're a kid. I think maybe kids see different things maybe than adults. But I think when a person is sleeping, it's almost like, I think you go into another realm maybe. I don't know, where our minds are made up. We got energy in our brain, right? There's energy, electric waves in our brains, right? So,
oh, yeah.
What's to say, Bill and Shannon and Jimmy, and if they're listening, that if we're sleeping, how come how do we know for sure that we're not touching into another dimension or another realm or something like that? You know what I mean?
We don't know that.
Yeah.
That's why we do what we do.
Well, when I had cancer, you guys, I'm not trying to bring the show down, because I can make fun of me having cancer, but because I like to make fun of everything. I try to have fun, but you guys, when I was down really, really sick, I was seeing things. I was so sick once. My friend that died, I was seeing him. I actually had Linda move his picture out of my room because he was visiting me. I felt like he was visiting me when I was asleep. And who knows? Who knows? Who really knows?
Yeah. So a few years ago, I got really sick, and my wife had to rush me to the hospital. And as I was laying in there, my temperature was like 106. They couldn't figure out what was going on. And I started talking, and Kelly said I was talking to somebody, and she asked me who I was talking to. And later on, I told her it was one of my best friends, the guy who saved my life in the Army. And she goes, well, I go, when did he get here? We don't even know where he's at. I can't find him anywhere. I knew for a fact he was standing right next to me, having a full discussion with me, telling me exactly what the machines, because he's a medic, and he was telling me exactly what was going on. And I was telling the doctors, yeah, he said this and this, and they're like, who? Because that's exactly what we were going to come in and tell you. But I don't know if he's dead or alive. But
wow.
he was literally standing right next to me, telling me exactly what was going on.
Well, when they put you to sleep, Bill, that's another thing. When they put you to sleep, you don't feel anything. Think about it. They could literally cut your head off, Bill. You don't feel anything while you're asleep. So when we're asleep, Bill, how do we know we don't travel to these different realms, or we just tap into that? I don't know. There may be a spirit world in another levels of, you know what I mean?
I believe
levels.
there's multiple levels.
I know the Christians may hear me and say, that's not Christian-like or whatever, but I don't know. None of us really knows. Until we die, you know what I mean?
There's nobody that's going to know, honestly.
Like I told you, Donald, there's no such thing as an expert in this field.
Oh,
well, nobody's a Lazarus, neither. Nobody's, people have died and come back alive, and they'll tell you stories and stuff. There has to be something, you guys, to it. If not heaven, or I don't know, you guys. I don't have the answers. I wish I did.
Oh, I wish we all did. I wish there was a way that we could get the answers. We could even know anything about it any more than we think we know.
Is that a reason, Bill, why you and Shannon do what you do? Because you are looking for answers?
Definitely.
I think one of the biggest things, and it's my dream place to go back to, one of the reasons that kind of got me most interested in doing this is when Kelly, my wife, and I were both stationed in Germany when we were both in the Army, and I got to go to Auschwitz, and standing there, you just got that. It was just that feeling of you could feel so many people there when we were the only two standing. The whole group we were on a tour, and they were all everybody was mingling around, and we just stood at the gate because that's all that's left. And we just stood there, and you could see where the old buildings were, and there's no grass growing there. I so want to go back, and I want to go back and hunt it. and that's like my dream place to go hunt.
Would
now.
they let you ghost hunt at Auschwitz?
I don't know.
Didn't Ghost Hunt You International do that one?
I don't know. I've never looked. I guess I never looked them up.
I mean, or is that like sacred ground? You know, like the Jewish people would get mad at you going to like Auschwitz and places like that.
We actually, I work at the VA, and one night I was sitting there and working really late and got talking to this elderly lady that was sitting there, and we got talking about this subject, and she actually looked at me, she goes, it was kind of hard to understand her because of her accent was really heavy, and she said, more or less said, if you want to go back, I'll go back, I can tell you stories, and she pulled her sleeve up, and she's got the tattoo on her arm. She was there. She was one of the as a young kid.
Take a picture?
No, I sit there and shook. I didn't know what to say. I don't know, what do you say to that? I mean, and I kind of looked at her and I just let her talk, and I listened to some of the stuff she talked about and the way they were treated as kids. And
right.
It was like 4 days before she knew that their group was going to be killed. They were watching people being let in from different buildings, and they knew, they kind of had it down pat of timing of this group was going next, and you could just see the fear in their eyes because that was the next building they were coming to grab people.
Right.
And in 4 days prior to when they knew it was timed is when they looked around and the guards were gone, and then next thing you know, the Americans were there.
Wow,
so
man.
It was just amazing to listen to her talk. And her husband was laying up. Her husband was an American soldier. He was laying up in our hospital dying, and all I could do was sit there and talk. And I had to go back to work. And I kind of went over to my boss and told her why I was late getting back. She said, "Well, get back over there and talk to her again." So that's my dream place, Auschwitz, and quite possibly I would really love to do that church in Africa. That it's a little one-room church.
You better stay away from Africa right now, man. There's some bad stuff going on right now, Bill.
I'm not probably a good place for a tall, fat white guy to go.
No, not right now. Not right now. Not right now.
No. So
I think if I had a dream place, it would be in another country, just because of all the history.
Well, Bill, you mentioned Auschwitz, but Bill, just think, I mean, there was like, I don't know how many people actually got gas chambered in Auschwitz, but not only the people that died there, but just think of all the misery, the children, the people that suffered, and I mean, just that would be that place, of any place on earth, Auschwitz, that would be probably somewhere that's very haunted. I would say so.
And that would be a place where I could almost, every time we do a ghost hunt and we're talking to people, and everybody's always asking about who lived in the building, and like when Shannon, when you guys do Bobby Max, or you guys do the prison like we do down in Missouri or Ashmore or up at Edinburgh, everybody's talking about the building.
People want to know who stayed there, who was held there.
I keep telling people, stop for a minute and think back to what was here before this building was here. The building may be 100, 150 years old, but the land is so much older. What happened here? What is the history of the property? First, like Edinburgh was a poor farm, and people were beaten, they were raped, everything that happened at that poor farm. And there's been people that were, Edinburgh was a farm that had livestock. And if anybody knows anything about pigs, they'll eat anything. So how many people's bodies were gotten rid of through animals? How many people just fell and they died there? So I keep telling them, think outside the box when you're asking the questions and trying to tap into whatever's there. And most people just don't we want to know about the building. It's like, okay, guys, there's so much more history here than just the buildings that were here. Again, Auschwitz, the souls of the people that were there that were tormented that still made it out. But the other, it just blows my mind when people do not think that way, and they get tunnel vision, I think is what it is. We've gotten
demons too, Bill. I mean, Auschwitz. Just think, if there's a place where demons are at, those SS guards or those Germans that did that to those Jewish, the Jew people there. Just imagine the demons that could possibly be at a place like Auschwitz. I mean, if there is demons out there.
Oh yeah, and
or they could be in a place where you least expect it too.
Oh,
that's
God,
the other thing, Bill, Shannon. We'll talk about places you guys hunted, but what about like battlefields, like
Gettysburg?
Yeah, Gettysburg.
We did Gettysburg last year for vacation, and with the group that I'm with, which is Riverside, Iowa Paranormal. We went out there. Oh my God, that place was amazing and just so active. And you could sit out there. We went out there really late at night, and you could hear the battles going on. If you just got quiet,
Donald,
you could hear.
You guys played an EVP one night, and I heard that when that cannon went off, somebody said fire. I heard that EVP.
Oh yeah.
Man.
Yeah, Bill has that.
Well, Bill, you're a veteran of this country. I mean, you probably know history, right? Back in World War I, when they was having that trench warfare, I don't know if it was in Britain or France, wherever they had all them trenches dug, and the Germans were in one trench, and
Yep.
Well, anyway, just imagine places like that, because those guys, I mean, that was another torturous place, and a lot of people died. And
all that is just farmland now.
Yes, I mean,
so it's wide open.
Could you find it? I mean, I guess you could. I mean, I'm sure it's on maps over there where those trenches was, you know.
Well, I found the saloon you were talking about, Donald, so anything can be found if you want to find it.
Well, that was the birdcage. The birdcage saloon bill.
What is it? The Tombstone?
Tombstone, yeah.
Tombstone Hotel in Arizona.
Never heard of that one.
What about the OK Corral? Have you heard of that, Bill?
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Well, I think it's around that area, isn't it, Shannon? That birdcage saloon?
It's Tombstone, Arizona.
Yeah, that's where Wyatt Earp had the standoff with the, I forget their names. Jimmy didn't probably know their names.
They have like an old hearse buggy in the building at the Birdcage Theater.
Well, that was one of the best ghost hunts I've ever seen Taps do. Was in that place, Shannon. That was one of the best places I've ever seen Jason and them do a ghost hunt. Was right there.
Yeah, and if anybody wants to watch it, anybody listening wants to watch it, it's Taps Season 3, Episode 1.
But it's called Ghost Hunters, right?
Yes.
Ghost Hunters. Okay.
Taps Ghost Hunters.
Have you ever watched them, Bill? Them other shows like that?
I used to watch a lot of them when I had time, because I have like one of the busiest schedules that I think I could possibly put on myself all the time. I go.
You're like an anti-me then. I have no schedule, Bill. I do nothing.
Oh, I wish I could say that.
No, you don't. It gets boring. Trust me.
Oh, I mean, I just like to slow down once and just see what it's like. That's why I bought a camper.
Would you like, now I'll ask you, well, Shannon does it for a living, but Bill, if you could ghost hunt and make a living doing it full time, would you do that, Bill?
Hell yes. Hell yes.
Now, I would jump all over that.
Now, people do make a living from that, though. Am I correct by saying that? Ghost hunting.
I mean, you can, like we are. You know what I mean? For Ghost Hunts USA, if you know, and we always look for new locations. So I mean, the more they have, the more we work.
I guess
depending on where they are.
Like you, well, Bill, he works, so I guess he couldn't commit to something like that. I don't guess he got to say I guess Bill's got to go when he has the time off work. But Shannon, yeah. If you didn't, the babies and everything, if you had full time to put into it, could you make a living from ghost hunting?
Yes.
All right.
Yes, you absolutely could.
That's great. I mean, that sounds like it'd be a good living, Bill.
Oh yeah, hell yeah. As long as my whole thing is, as long as I guess it's that feeling of getting stale.
Getting tired of it, getting burned out.
Well, yeah, because that's every job. That's everything people do. My dad always talked about how he was constantly. It seemed like he was a drone for the longest time, just constantly doing the same thing over and over. And I guess that's the reason I stopped DJing. Between that and having so many surgeries to rebuild shoulders and knees,
right?
I know what you're talking about, Bill. I know what you're talking about. Politics, Bill. I get so tired sometimes of talking about politics.
I was about to say, don't you dare go into politics on
my show.
I will straight grab your house and kick your ass.
No, but not on this show. But I just sometimes I get burned out on it, Bill. And
oh yeah,
I need a break from it.
But
Yeah,
politics is kind of like the paranormal, where there's something different every day. You can
There's
constantly talk about it.
But
Well,
so you're saying there's a bunch of old dead guys running the place? Is that what you're
Oh well,
saying?
yeah, pretty much.
Well, we could put politics with paranormal and talk about like dead presidents. I mean, if they're spirits, why not?
We had a
presidents
woman
being out there.
We had a woman call Beth about doing a residential house, and this woman swore to God that she was having a conversation with the spirit of Abraham Lincoln.
Well, Shannon, did you tell Bill what that box said one night when we was ghost hunting at Post Town?
Post Town.
When I asked, I don't know, what was that box called, Shannon? What was
The
he
Phasma
using?
box.
Phasma box. I said, and this is the question I asked these kids or who was ever in there. I said, who was the president when you died, or who was the president while you was alive? And Bill,
It said
I
Wilson,
swear,
didn't it?
it said Wilson.
Yes,
Bill,
it was.
there was a
Wow.
president named President Woodrow Wilson.
Woodrow Wilson, yep.
And
Yep.
It was
Wow.
instant. You know, that's what Shannon always told me when she takes me ghost hunting. Look for direct answers like that. You know,
Definitely.
And sure enough, Wilson, Bill.
Wow.
But when you also talk to them and you ask questions, you want to ask in present times, because they might know what time it is if they're intelligent enough to know what time we are actually in, or they could still be stuck back in their time. So just talk to them like you would in present times.
Well,
As
whoever
far as like
was,
what year
Shannon,
is it? You know,
I mean,
what
Shannon,
day?
you was there. You were right there, Shannon. It was a direct.
Yeah, I was there.
It was a question, and I got a direct answer. I mean, it was awesome. It makes you think, Bill. It really does.
Oh yeah, them are the best. Some of the best ones when you get that direct answer and you're just standing there staring at somebody going, "Oh my God, okay." But the best thing about that is when you get those direct answers, it kind of can guide you on what your next questions need to be. Yeah,
Right.
If you're getting the Wilson, okay, they were around when Woodrow Wilson, so what year would that be? Okay, so now we got to ask this kind of question and see
Right.
if we can get more direct answers from them. And yeah,
Shannon gets all over me, Bill. When the couple times, 2-3 times I've been ghost hunting with her, she's all over me. She's like, "You're going too fast, too many
I gotta
questions."
calm him down. I gotta bring him down a notch, because he will ask a question and he means well. He just wants to know what's out there, just like all of us, you know. But he will ask a question and literally like 3 to 5 seconds later, he's popping another question.
And I
I'm like,
provoking
just give him
him
a
too.
chance to respond.
I like
Huh?
provoking him, and Shannon,
He does,
Shannon
but I
said,
gotta-
"Don't provoke him, don't provoke him."
I gotta tone him down on that too. But there's a difference between provoking and just being stern.
Well, I
Definitely.
was kind of being a smart aleck sometimes, but
You were. I had to say, okay, I'm leaving your ass here, or I'm walking out, because you were getting pretty bad in the gym.
Well, Bill, do you, and Shannon both, do you think if though my philosophy is if they're there, if they're not going to talk to you when you're being nice, get mean with them and rile them up and make them do
But that
something.
might not always end well, Donald.
Well, I mean, that's what I'm looking for is proof. I mean, I'd take a scratch to
But that's
find out
not
if
the
there's
way to
life
go
after
about it.
death.
I don't know about that one, Donald. I've been scratched twice now.
Without provoking.
Without provoking. I was actually standing videotaping one night we were doing a private residence, and my wife and Shannon, and not this Shannon, different Shannon, and Michelle were asking questions, and I was just running the video camera. And out of the blue, it felt like my neck was on fire, and we clicked on the lights, and the exact same 3 scratches that had been happening on the children that were getting scratched in the house were on the back of my neck, and they were deep. I don't know if I want to get scratched again. That's the only. I'm not
See,
real
Bill-
happy with that.
See, Bill, I mean, that's cool. I mean, that's what I would love. That would, to me, would be definitive proof if something would just reach out and scratch me. And
But-
I'm not. What?
But it depends on the type of scratch you get. Sometimes if you get scratched, it'll leave an emotional roller coaster ride for the next few days or even week. You know what I
Well,
mean?
it
You
would
might
give me
start
proof.
feeling what they felt. Yeah, but that's not the kind of proof you're looking for.
I mean,
You're
I'm
like
not
one of
even-
those guests that come in and say, I am looking for that shoved down a flight of stairs.
No, not the steps. I don't want to die or nothing. No,
but I mean,
knock
getting
my hat
scratched
off
is no
or
different
something.
than being pushed downstairs, in my opinion, when you're in a dark room.
And see, this now is why I'm a little bothered and a little worried about doing the Sally house.
Oh, you're going to the Sally house. Then you're going to tell me all about it. I'll think about you while you're there.
Yeah, you better pray for me while I'm there.
What's that chick? She's real famous. She chopped up her parents with the axe. I forget her name. Real famous. People ghost hunt. Gosh darn it, I can't think of her name.
Holy shit, I'm just so drawing a blank.
You know what I'm talking about, though, right?
The axe.
There's a rhyme about her.
I know.
Yeah, there's movies about it. And, very famous ghost hunting place. Jimmy and Paul, they were listening, they probably know, but I'm not trying to make a funny show out of tonight's show, but could you imagine taking Paul and Jimmy ghost hunting? I think they would crack me up. I think a ghost, we would really find something. I think they would pull it out, Jimmy and Paul would.
Lizzie Borden.
Lizzie Borden,
that's
yes.
it, Paul, Bill, thank you. I hate
Thanks,
that when
Mom,
I
for the
remember.
text. My mom just texted me and said the same thing.
Lizzie Borden, the Borden house.
Lizzie Borden had an axe. She gave her mother 40 whacks. When she saw that she had done, she gave her father 41.
Did she get away with that, or did she serve any time in jail, prison, or what? You guys?
She did.
But she got out of prison though eventually, right? Or did she die in prison?
I don't think she died in prison.
You know what, you guys? While you're talking, I'm going to go ahead and Google this, and I'm going to find out.
I am already.
That's what I'm doing.
Okay, well, great, because now that Lizzie Borden stuff, that's crazy.
How much time did Lizzie Borden spend in jail? None. She was acquitted of all the crimes.
See, that's what I thought.
The jury only deliberated for 10 minutes before reaching a non-guilty verdict.
So, what is
she? She was acquitted in 1892.
Yep.
She died in 1927.
So why did she get the rap for everybody, in history? She goes down in history as chopping her parents up when she was acquitted. I don't get it.
I don't know.
I thought she came home. You guys, back to her family.
I was going to say, I thought
there.
I think she lived there too after all that happened.
Yes, I think you're right. You can Google it while we're talking, but yes, Lizzie Borden. If she got acquitted and she didn't do that, she's going down in history as an axe murderer. You guys, she's going to be known from here on out. Lizzie Borden,
Oh yeah, definitely.
Dave just messaged me and said he's coming in.
All right. Oh gosh, we're going to hear what's his name?
Well,
Billy Bob.
He's probably going to talk about Sarah, how he sees Sarah in the window at Post
Sarah, now, whoa! Is this the little girl at Post Town
that looks at him?
Out
the window.
Shannon, we're trying to get onto. There's a plantation down in Louisiana that we're trying to go to. And I'd have to find the picture and send it to you. You're talking about little girl. There's a little girl that, the story behind the whole building is that the slave owner brought one of his slaves into work in the house. And I'd have to find the picture and send it to you.
Holy echo.
Talking about little girl. There's a little girl.
Turn that on, Dave.
The story behind the whole building is that this. Wow.
He had it
Coots, we knew he came in.
So the story behind
Turn it off,
like I said,
come in.
He brought the lady into his home, and she fell in love with the master, and she thought to prove to him that she would be a better mom to his children, she poisoned the family. And she thought she'd just give him a little poison, and then she would be the savior as she brought the kids back and everything. But ended up killing them.
Wasn't there something on TV about that?
Yeah, but
I watched it.
Yeah, she brought him back in. And then he found out that she was involved in it and kicked her out and put her back out with the rest of the slaves. Well, the rest of the slaves hated her for all the stuff she was causing the problems, and they messed her up bad.
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 Yeah, I remember watching something about that on TV.
I was just sitting there reading a bad text message. Just never mind me for a few seconds, okay?
Okay. Bad.
Well, yeah, I just found out my friend won't be able to go somewhere with me this coming week. So,
Oh, okay. Is that Dave?
Yeah,
Yes,
he's here
I'm
now.
here, guys.
there's my buddy. There's my buddy.
What's up, Dave?
What's going on, Bill?
Another day, another nickel.
Hey,
Heard
hey,
that.
Dave, tell them about Sarah.
Who's
Oh,
Sarah,
man.
Dave?
Sarah is creepy, dude. Look, I'm not a big believer in the whole ghost, never been my whole life. But I park my semi at Post Town, okay? And when I bobtail, I back up to the building where the window is. The window on
On Sarah's stairwell.
on Sarah's stairwell on the west side. So
Okay.
one night, it's about 3 o'clock in the morning. I'm in my truck. I'm getting ready to leave. And the next thing you know, I look in the mirror, and there's this little girl in the window waving bye to me. I look in the window, and I'm like, "Did I just see that?" So I look at my mirror again, and she's sitting there waving bye to me. I'm like, "What the f?" So I've got spotlight in the back of my semi. I flip the spotlights on. I look. And she's just standing there like the spotlights aren't bothering her, just waving. I'm like, what the world? So I open the door, and I get out, and by the time my feet hit the ground and I go to walk toward the window, she's gone. So I walk up to the window, I look in the window, I don't see nothing, and get back in the truck, hop back up in it, close the door, look in the mirror, and she's standing there waving again.
You need to take a picture of that mirror.
That's what I told him.
So, but what she does, I've seen her probably 3 or 4 times when I go to leave, and I look in the mirror, and she'll be sitting in the window waving.
Oh, you need to take a picture of your mirror
Well, it didn't just happen to me though. It happened to another driver, and it scared him so bad that every time he'd get out of his truck, he'd drop his head and put his hand up so he couldn't look in the window.
Wow.
And I'm jealous because I haven't seen Sarah.
Maybe
I've been there. I can't tell you how many times, and I've never seen her.
Maybe you need to sit in his truck.
Well, if I got to do that and take a picture in his mirror, I will.
But now, if it's dark, take a picture in the mirror. The flash would distort it, wouldn't it?
If you've got your spotlights on and you can still see her in the mirror, just turn your flash off on your camera.
I was gonna say.
On your phone, so it doesn't flash.
Don't you have a dash cam?
Yeah, I have a dash cam. Yeah.
Point that thing backwards.
I would have to put it outside the truck because there's a big wall in my sleeper. You can't see outside of it. You'd have to literally put the camera on the back of the truck. And we could do that. We could mount a camera on the back of the truck.
Mount like one of my action cameras on the back of it, and then
There you go.
Yeah.
then you can take it off.
She'll be in the window though. She'll just be waving like she's waving goodbye.
That is awesome.
He's told me that story numerous times, and I still haven't seen her.
But now, Shannon, do you remember when I was telling you the first time that I ever went on an investigation? I'm like, oh, this is crazy. I don't believe in this stuff. And we went up in the special needs room, and he wasn't using a Phasma box. He was using one with a lot of static.
He's using a spirit box.
Spirit box. Yeah. And he asked him if he knew anybody in the room, and they started saying yes. And he asked them who, and they said my name.
Did they keep saying your name though? Wasn't it going like Dave,
Yeah.
Dave?
Yeah.
That is sometimes the creepiest feeling in the world when it knows your name.
Well, David's there all the time. Like that's where we train, is at Post Town.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I did a session there one night, and it kept saying that it didn't like that we were hurting each other, like because we do airsoft and shoot each other and stuff, and hand to hand. And it through the Phasma box, it was saying that it didn't like the fact that we were hurting each other.
Wow.
When all in all, we weren't really hurting each other, but it looked that way to whoever was talking through the Phasma box.
Is that the same little girl that you caught what is it? The footsteps?
I don't know who the footsteps were. I don't know if that was a little boy or a little girl. They never talked. That was in the mean teacher's room. That was a complete opposite side of the building.
Maybe she was trying to lead you away from there.
Where we were it was below. It was the lower level of where he saw Sarah. So I don't know. I don't know. And I want to get, I guess, Dave's youngest daughter, Kira. She's a little sensitive, and I've been trying to bug him and Dana about letting me take her in there for a couple hours.
How old is she?
Kira, she's 12 now. But at the time, before we even knew anything about Post Town, Kira was about, I would say, 5 to 7, 8 years old. She used to sit in her bedroom and play with a little girl named Sarah. And we live literally right down the street from Post Town.
Really?
Yeah, he's like he's probably not even a minute away. There's a church in between and a dollar store.
Does every place have a damn dollar store?
Well, yeah. There's one every 5 minutes here. But I don't. Donald got quiet.
Oh, I was smoking a cigarette. I almost fell asleep. I just got up a while ago.
Are we boring you, Donald?
No. I was sitting there smoking a cigarette. I was just listening to Dave's story.
What do you think about Dave's story,
Sarah
Donald?
creeps me out.
Well, Dave, knowing Dave, he said people speaking his name. That don't surprise me. I think Dave likes people to say, "Talk to me, Dave. Tell me your name, Dave. Tell me your name. Tell me your name. Tell me my name."
Who's your daddy?
I think
Who's your daddy?
I think you were trying to say my name, Donald.
Say my name. Yeah, that's my. I have a sleep, Shannon. I had a rooster waking me up a while ago. I mean, my Linda set my alarm on my phone, and it's actually a rooster. Cock-a-doodle-doo, and I'm like, oh crap. I'm here.
Really
I'm
just
here.
do that on the air. Oh, I love you. I love you, Donald.
We used to have a rooster on Gratis. This thing would only crow like I have a crow, man. It was weird.
So, Shannon,
Yes, sir.
You still haven't described your perfect place to hunt that you want to go.
Well, I briefly said that it would be somewhere in another country. Like a lot of the older castles and stuff, UK and stuff like that, like where Tyler came from, basically. If you watch any of Ghost Hunters International, any place they ever went, I want to go.
I got a question.
Yeah.
It's for you guys that ghost hunt a lot. I mean, we know that things that are alive maybe have spirits, right? Now, what about animals? Do you guys think that animals,
More than us.
I mean, honestly, you think there's spirits of animals out there running around? Have you guys ever heard of that? Or
yeah, because RCI has a spirit cat. A guest took a photo of a cat sitting at our feet. And it wasn't. There was no cat in the building.
Well, if
and
there
you
was
could
a
see
cat,
right
you'd
through
be
it.
sneezing anyway.
Well, yeah, I'd have been sneezing all over the place because I'm allergic. But it was at our feet. There was probably 4 or 5 of us, I guess, standing in a circle in a hallway, and someone took a picture from down the hallway, and there was a cat just sitting there. You could see the tail. You could see the whole body, his head, and the tail, and everything.
Now,
So, yeah.
I've got one. What about the Amityville house?
Amityville Horror, yes. That'd be a good place, Dave. The house, yeah.
I
would
know.
go. I would go because I've heard rumors that it wasn't really something demonic. It wasn't spiritual. I would probably go in a heartbeat.
Yeah.
What was the name of that guy that killed all them people? DeFeo or something? DeFeo or something like that?
I'll make me Google again.
Well, it was a guy.
What about
Jones?
What about Jonesville?
Talking about in Ghana or Guyana or wherever the heck that.
Jonestown.
Jonestown, yeah.
That might be a place that I'd almost avoid. I'll tell you the honest truth. I don't know if I could ever go there to
That's
do
where
that.
they drink the Kool-Aid, right? Dave?
Why, you feel
Yep.
worse about that one than Sally House?
Well, think about it. That was Sally House is considered to be demonic. What is Jonestown? All those people, how many hundreds of people died within 20 minutes there that may still be stuck there? I don't know if you could be able to just just take it all at one time. If going to one
So you're
place,
saying it would be overwhelming?
Yeah, it would be. It may be.
Amityville horror killings.
It would be
What?
almost. Yeah, it would be almost overwhelming. The feeling there. I don't know if I could do that one.
Dude, that
But yeah.
happened the year I was born,
What year was that again, Bill?
1978.
Oh, you're young.
You talking about Jonesville or Jonestown?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
1978.
And you're young. It was Ronald DeFeo. That was his name, Shannon.
Oh, from Amityville.
Yeah. And he did go to prison. I think I don't know if he's dead or alive though right now. I don't know if he died.
Hey,
in prison.
I've got another one for you guys. What about Wounded Knee?
Well, yeah.
Wow.
I would love to go there.
Oh my God, yes.
What is that, Dave? Explain that, will you?
Wounded Knee is where there was a massacre happened when the Union soldiers killed. They come up on an Indian camp and they killed men, women, and children all.
Well, Dave, I'm glad you're here because I asked Bill earlier. Dave, where they fought in them trenches? What was the main place? What was the name of that place where they did all that trench warfare during World War One? I know there's a real big one, Dave, where they stayed for like years there fighting each other in them trenches.
Now, see, I'm gonna have to Google it.
I mean,
Right.
I know
I'm still looking at Wounded Knee.
there was different places, Dave, along that that battle zone where it was trench warfare, Dave. You know what I'm talking about, but
Yeah, but do you guys think that war would be different because during war people are expected to die? I mean, maybe the soldiers are mentally prepared to that versus somebody that died catastrophically and suddenly.
Yeah, but
That's a good question.
back then, weren't a lot of soldiers drafted? So if they were drafted, they might not have wanted to go in and didn't want to die.
I think in World War One, though, the soldiers went over there by themselves, didn't they? They willingly at first.
No, I think they still drafted them.
Most of them were drafted, but some of them were. Some of people did obviously go. They joined up to get away from things,
Right?
And to show that, hey, I'm gung ho. I'm going to do this, but I mean, I don't know. It's so even that's so catastrophic, and they knew they were soldiers. I mean, I knew that when I went in that obviously I never went through anything like those guys went through, and like Normandy and Omaha Beach and all that. I knew that when I joined, Desert Storm was right there because that's where I was at. I used to we helped carry and take care of people that got hurt because I was in a medical unit at the time. But I never thought. I guess I never really sat down and thought about the feeling of a battlefield that big. I guess I did because we did Gettysburg, which was one of the bloodiest battles.
And you get a lot of activity out there.
Hey, I got a real quick one to throw out because you guys only got a couple minutes. You guys was thinking about something crazy to do. What about going deep sea diving and ghost hunting the Titanic? Just think about that. Wouldn't that be kind of cool?
If it really is the Titanic.
Oh, they've seen it. I mean, the movies.
I know, but there's a documentary on it that's not really the Titanic that that movie's based off of.
Bill Paxton seen it. It's got to be real. He found it, Shannon.
I think I think I would rather go to Hawaii and do Pearl Harbor.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
What is that, Arizona?
But do you think though that that a person's mindset? I mean, even though those soldiers were drafted and didn't know that, it was still in their head, just like you, Bill, or just like myself when I went. That you're almost mentally exactly. That's in the back of your head versus somebody that's all of a sudden.
My mom and dad got a letter because they screwed up on the paperwork and put my social security number on somebody else's paperwork of a gentleman who died in Desert Storm. So when I got that call and was told, hey, your mom and dad just got served your letter that you died in Desert Storm, and it went out to the newspapers and everything. I didn't know what to think. And it does make you think, okay, I'm over here. I may never step foot home again. I may never take another step again. And I guess in your mind, you always put it away and go, you can't think about it, because if you dwell on it, you're screwed. Mentally.
Well, true. If you dwell on it, you're not fully aware of what's going on while you're there.
Yeah.
Custer's Last Stand. What was that? South Dakota, Dave, with the Black Hills. That'd be a
Little
good place.
Bighorn.
Little Bighorn. Yes, thank you, Dave. Thank you.
I think, I mean, in a lot of places we go to too, like they always say that it's built on Indian burial grounds.
It'd be cool to talk to General Custer, though.
Well, the place we're getting ready to go to, the Farrar School, there was a big Indian battle that happened right there at the Farrar School here in Iowa. And we're going to be doing that in July. We don't know what to expect there, so.
Is that one of ours?
It's going to be, yes.
Ah, okay.
Yeah. But they also have confirmation of the KKK here in Iowa burning crosses and possibly people in the front yard of that school too.
Oh.
Oh, wow.
So, yeah. I didn't realize until I started doing this job, doing the ghost hunts, how evil the state of Iowa was with the Ku Klux Klan, and how they were so racist.
Folks,
here
you
in
got
Iowa.
30 seconds.
Thanks, boss.
Thanks, boss.
All right, well, I want to thank Dave and Donald for coming on the show tonight.
Yes, thank you.
Bill, you're awesome as always.
Not as good as you are.
And thank you to all those listeners
Thanks
out
for
there.
having me.
You're awesome, Donald.
Dave?
Thanks, guys.
Thank you. Thanks for jumping in, Dave. Thank you a lot.
Bye, you guys.
Play my music.
Where is the music? Did they play
Bye,
it?
Mom.